been rainy in Minnesota. I love the rain. I love the smell of rain. You know, I'm glad I don't live in a place like Seattle, because nobody in Seattle really knows what the rain smells like. Well, ask one sometime. Ask them what rain smells like. They'll tell you something like it smells wet, which just goes to show what they know. Of course rain smells wet, but it's only a fraction of the smell. What rain really smells like is dead worms. They don't really get dead worms in Seattle, because they haven't really had worms in Seattle since it first started raining. A friend visited me from Seattle last fall. In Minnesota, the rains start just before fall begins, so the smell of dead worms mixes with the smell of rotting leaves. Add a little cigarette smoke, which is the third thing that I usually smell. You got something to really pine over for the rest of the year. It was raining the day that he came. We stepped outside the airport, and the first thing he did was smell the air. Dead worms, rotting leaves, and cigarette smoke. It's intoxicating. My friend was visiting me for company, trying to make a return to social life a year after his wife died. As he put it to me, it was either that or suicide. The silence, he said, had been killing him. No, I didn't blame him. His wife was a beautiful woman, and charming. She was the sort of person that you had to be around. You had to try and impress. And you felt like you might be worth something when she laughed at one of your jokes or listened to whatever you had to say. She was addictive. And a day spent with her meant a week's worth of withdrawals. My friend was married to her for 3 years until the car accident, and that made him the biggest addict of all. I can't describe what he went through that year. I've never had that kind of pain. And he made it clear that he was coming here to connect to someone, to get laid or to find something more. Despite his grief, he found somebody the first night we went out. She wasn't nasty or anything. She was a nice girl from St. Paul. He just couldn't bring himself to like her. Admittedly, she was nothing compared to his wife. The second night we went out, same thing. Girl from Roseville. He turned her away. On the third night, he found 2 women. On the fourth night, he found 3. 5 on the fifth, and 8 on the sixth. This guy can't get over his wife. This continues for 2 months. It's the beginning of December, and we go to this post-Thanksgiving party where you basically drink a lot and eat everybody's week-old leftover turkey. At this point, the ritual had become routine to me. Just the same process over and over again. But you know where this is going. He actually found someone that night. The only problem was, this girl looked exactly like his wife. Acted exactly like his wife. In fact, aside from a small difference in facial structure and a small difference in height, this woman pretty much was his wife. Well, at least at first. There were other differences, and as December went by, spring came, those differences became more apparent. Every day that went by, his wife, reincarnated in this woman, died a little bit more. Summer came, and this poor woman's emotions were run into the ground from trying to live up to his expectations. Let's be clear, she loved my friend, and she tried her damnedest to take his wife's place. She simply wasn't his wife. And when the relationship ended, the rains have started again. Fall is coming. My friend finally went back to Seattle. Still alone, still pining, still miserable. It rains a lot in Seattle, but You know, it doesn't really rain in Seattle. They don't have dead worms. And it's just not rain without dead worms.